Hi guys, let's begin with the anthem.
I believe I can, I believe I am, I believe I can. रख दो कदम हवाओं पे, चल रहा है फिजाओं पे, आ रहा हूँ मैं आसमां, है नजर सितारों पे, चला हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ मैं, जी रहा हूँ मैं जिंदगी, चला हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ मैं, जी रहा हूँ मैं जिंदगी। खुद पे भरोसा है मुझको यकीन, हर मंजिल को पहचान मेरी, चाहत ताकत अपनी, राह में खुद ही हूँ रोशनी, उड़ चला हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ मैं, जी रहा हूँ मैं जिंदगी, उड़ चला हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ मैं, जी रहा हूँ मैं जिंदगी। I believe I can, I believe I am, I believe I can. देखा मुझको जुनून है लेकिन अपने सुकून है अपना मुझे कोई होश नहीं, हाँ जीता हूँ हर एक पल में जिसका है, हर एक पल में अपना दिल कोई खौफ नहीं, अब मैं चला उड़ाऊं ये हौसला ना हो कम, अब कोई होगा तकदीरें है रूह में इतना दम, चला हूँ मैं जिंदगी, चला हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ मैं, जी रहा हूँ मैं जिंदगी, चला हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ मैं, जी रहा हूँ मैं जिंदगी।
Thank you so much. Welcome to EDP Masters with me and my lovely Kingdomites and EDPians. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we have a very amazing guest, and it's going to be a very extraordinary time, all of you, because you may not have, we have not had anybody like today's guest in all these times from the time we started EDP Masters. And it's a very different career, very thrilling, very adventurous, very exciting career we are going to discuss today. Somebody who's got into entrepreneur, not being from any kind of entrepreneurial background, no family business, nothing. Absolutely born to doctor family, and then to build up and create our own identity. Today, I have a very fabulous women entrepreneur, somebody who has been into fraud examining all over the world. Please welcome today's guest, Dr. Apurva Pradeep Joshi. Apurva, welcome to EDP Masters with us.
Hi. Hi,
Thank you so much.
Deepak.
Hi so much. So
Hi.
finally, we have you here after multiple confusions here. So finally, I'm so glad we're going to have a fabulous 1 hour time with you and all my college kingdomites and all my management students. So Apurva, how does it feel to be an entrepreneur? I can relate with you because I also come from families where it is all about working service class, and then I got into entrepreneurship. So I just want to know, how do you also feel not coming from an entrepreneur family and then to be called as an entrepreneur, and you also have some phenomenal awards. You have been in top 30 who's under 30 entrepreneur in the entire country. So I think you have multiple awards. So how does it feel to be an entrepreneur? Because
Uh,
having a job and being entrepreneurs, two different stories. So how do you relate with it?
yes. Hi, Deepak. First of all, I'll answer your question. But first of all, I must praise you and Kingdom College for the wonderful series, which is EDP Masters. Because, in my opinion, imparting knowledge to the students and helping them clear their vision, helping them to decide their aim, are the best things in the world, which you are doing right now. आई ऑलवेज फील अगर 10 साल पहले मेरे जो कॉलेज गोइंग स्टूडेंट्स मेरे साथ थे उनके लिए ऐसा कुछ होता तो दे वुड हैव डन समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी सो यू आर गिविंग अ चांस टू द स्टूडेंट्स टू बिकम एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी फ्रॉम ऑर्डिनरी so
Thank you.
congratulations to this initiative and yeah, so coming back to your question, being entrepreneur is a very challenging scenario. Someone who is not from the background business family background, and I must say that every day is a challenging day. Being entrepreneur, I always feel myself pushing towards different goals like revenue generation, because there are fixed costs to be incurred every month. You have to take care of your employees, their families, their aspirations. So being entrepreneur is a very different kind of thing. It's like something which you are experimenting day by day. My aim before I become entrepreneur was not something like this. Ki I want a salary which is fixed every month. So I wanted to do something different. My aim was clear. I wanted to do something which will make me known. So being entrepreneur is an opportunity which gives you to become something extraordinary. And my family is so proud of me being entrepreneur. I can now give training to different kind of students coming from different kind of background, help them clear their vision. So being entrepreneur really pays off.
So there is never a dull day in the life of an
Yes.
entrepreneur. Every day is
Yes.
so thrill and
Yes,
excitement.
every day is fabulous. I could realize the ups and downs, different challenges for from being entrepreneur rather from being a salaried person. So being entrepreneur gives me a freedom to do different things, to experiment with different things, which I really aspire to.
Good, super. Can you just give, because the kind of work which you do that is supposed to be called as fraud examining, eh? It's a
Yes,
very
yes,
deadly name to even listen. Okay, a fraud examiner. So how do
yes.
you develop a career, or how somebody gets into something like this? Because It's not something you choose to. You might sometimes end up in. So, what is this whole idea about fraud examining? Now, do you by yourself go and find out the fraud, or it is somebody calls you to invites you, or how does it whole thing works? Because it's a very new thing for us.
So I'll start with my journey, so that everyone will be clear what were my challenges, what were the experiences which made me a person which I am today. So there are so many career options for the commerce students these days. Three are the most common: accounting, finance, administration. So under accounting, you can go for CA, chartered accountancy. Under finance, you can go for CFA. Under compliance, you can go for CS, company secretary. Under management, you can choose MBA. These are the typical options. But to be honest, these four courses is not the career. I had these options when I took admission for becoming a chartered accountant. But soon enough, I realized that the work is more of a stereotype work, beyond submission of tax and accounting information of a client on different due dates. I couldn't see any challenge in this profession. I had begun to realize my personality trait that a person like me cannot just get bided in a time frame. If you are a bright student, but not inclined towards engineering or medical, the natural choice is CA, a safe, predictable, respectable path for students. You work hard, you pass exams, you aim for a rank. In between all this, you do an articleship at a firm owned by your uncle. I did not have any uncle to fall back on. So the small town girl, which is me, came to Pune looking for a break with a CA firm. I got that break with India Forensic, a small startup. This firm was in the business of forensic accounting, an unusual domain which I had never heard of 12 years back. A young trainee like me soon found myself conducting fraud risk assessment and studying company balance sheets for early warning signs of frauds. When the whole world was busy filing tax returns and making entries in Tally, I was doing something really out of the box. My whole family background, as you have just mentioned, is medical. But at that time, my mom told me to do something different, something very exceptional. Hence, despite scoring 89% in class 10 examination, I opted out of medical. I took up commerce with the goal of becoming a chartered accountant. After completing class 12 in semi-English medium at Sangameshwar College, Solapur, I just now I told you that I arrived in Pune for articleship. So, not knowing any CA firm, I scoured the money control website where chartered accountants were often quoted in the context of share markets, trains, different trains in accounting. So, I thought those CAs may be having a vacancy and I can try my luck for a job. One such CA was Mr. Mayur Joshi, a forensic accountant. That was very intriguing, and moreover, he was based out of Pune. So, I googled his address and I landed up at his office. So Mayur said, articleship में बच्चे normally income tax return भरना सीखते हैं, auditing सीखते हैं. Would you like to learn something different? He explained what is forensic accounting, and it sounded mighty adventurous. That time I was 18 years old, and I thought, why not? This will be very exciting. I was just 18 years old. What's more, India Forensic was a startup. So even as an article trainee, I was immediately put on the job. The task was fraud risk assessment of a big retail chain. I was very shocked. The word fraud conjured the image of something khatarnak and criminal. And thus began my journey as into the unusual world of forensic accounting. Just now before the talk, I told you that Bangalore is very close to my heart because for the first assignment, I traveled to Bangalore with my boss. For 8 days, we scanned the retailers' accounts and ran analytical tools on their servers. Everything seemed to be in order. There was only one thing left to do: a physical inspection of the inventory. But when we approached the person in charge, he was very evasive. The man said, TVs are stacked on one top of the other. How will you open the boxes? Was he just being difficult or was he hiding something? I decided it was time to be a little daring. I climbed up the ladder and sat on the mezzanine floor. I opened the first box, empty. The second box empty, third box empty. टीवी एक भी नहीं था, सिर्फ कार्डबोर्ड थे. A cardinal principle of forensic accounting: validate the data given to you. Data is not the truth. While climbing down, I accidentally broke a box of detergent powder. I was worried. What to do now? Should we offer to pay for it? Mayur sir advised me to keep quiet and see what procedure the store follows. The box was taken to the auction room and sold to one of the employees at 50% discount. We realized this could be another modus operandi for fraud. So the first assignment was an eye opener for me. Fraud was not something committed only by politicians or high net worth individuals. Ordinary people like you and me could be also cheating their employers. A salesman might give false bills for petrol. A purchase manager could leak information to rival. A CFO may siphon money into his personal account. I realize that fraud is like God. It is everywhere. We cannot pinpoint the presence of God, but we can pinpoint the presence of fraud. One way to do this is to scan a company's balance sheets. So, as apart from employee fraud, one of the other assignments which I got was from one of the regulatory bodies, and I could understand what kind of fraud are done by the management of the company. Figures are also manipulated in order to show better results, quarterly results to the stock markets and push up the price of their stocks. So, to summarize this, I will tell you from my experience of 12 years that frauds are broadly classified in two different categories: frauds which are done by the management itself to push up the share prices to show a better valuation to the investors, and the other kind of fraud is fraud done against the company, which is done by the employees, vendors, customers. These are the types of frauds which I broadly saw, and assignments come from listed companies, banks, NBFCs, and also from the regulator.
Hmm. So it's
Yeah.
so you're basically a CBI officer, CID officer without having the badge like that. So I think
Yes,
it's
yes,
very
yes.
interesting.
And what is interesting is sometimes when we go to the companies for finding out the fraud, we we go there into the disguise as we are bank forensic auditors, or we are internal auditors. We are here to scan the accounts. We are here to done the statutory audit, because sometimes it is possible that the person with whom we are working could be a part of the fraud. So we have to be very cautious at that time.
So you're also offered bribes.
Yes, yes, more often. But we know that one who receives the bribes is also a part of this culture, and we exactly work opposite to that. So we don't accept that.
But it is offered to you also because every fraud
Yes,
want to get covered up by himself.
yes, yes. One such case was one of the PSU bank. We issued a forensic audit to us. We came out with a report which named biggies. So the executive director of the PSU bank tried to, pressurize my partner by telling him to alter the report as required by the bank. My partner just left the report there and went away, and we never saw him after that. After a few days, we could find out from the media that the executive director is behind the bars. So it is always, it is always advisable to be cautious.
So my question here will be like this, because when you work in especially a place where it is so vulnerable, so volatile, the chances of people offering you bribe may be much more than you must be earning at times in your life.
Right.
So how do you deal with this kind of temptation? Because this will come every time. It may not be in the name of fraud, it may be in the name of cheating the customer or the supplier or sometime manipulation. So when you see a money in front of you or a bribe in front of you or any kind of temptation in front of you, which you might have to work for an entire year to get that,
Right.
in one shot you get the entire thing. And this temptation comes. So if you are a person of values, maybe it helps you, but still human nature है ना. So थोड़ा सा लालच तो आ जाता है. So how do you control this? How do you control this temptation of greed?
So, as you have rightly pointed out, you need to be adhered to the values you work for. Uh, while I entered this profession, I was not knowing for quite some years what I was doing. But when media took the cognizance of the work which we were doing, I soon realized that I am also doing work for my nation, because I am catching the criminals. I'm preventing the criminals to do the frauds. I'm preventing the criminals to, falsify something and get the money fraudulently from the people. So one thing is very, very much fixed in my heart and in my head, that I work for my nation, I work for my people, and I work for justice. So I think when your aim and vision is very clear, it doesn't deter you from your, what you have decided or the purpose of your life.
Correct. So basically, I suddenly realized after listening to you, you don't have to be a CID or CB officer and pass all the examination to
Yes.
unearth so many frauds going on. You can actually make it a
Hmm.
profession, you can make it a passion, you can make it an business
Correct.
and do something
Correct.
for the nation. It can be done.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
I'm going to ask you something. As I'm talking to you, I realize I'm going to ask
Hmm.
you a very, very tricky and a little. Don't get offended with this, but try to answer me this question, okay?
Hmm.
Police has to think like a thief to catch a thief,
Right.
and thief
Right.
always keep thinking like a police to save from the police. So
Hmm.
now Apurva Joshi thinks like what? Because you have to catch a fraudster. So
Hmm.
how do you think? So you think like Apurva Joshi, or you think like how a fraud person will think? So does it contaminates your mind also at times?
So I heard a proverb in Marathi की गार जरी पाण्यात राहिली तरी पाण्याला ती आत शिरू देत नाही. याचा अर्थ, द मिनिंग ऑफ दिस, इवन इफ अ स्टोन लाईज इन द वॉटर, it doesn't allow the water to enter into it. So it is just like that. So when I work on any assignment, or when my team work on any assignment, we try to find out the motive of the fraudster. What could be the motive? Is it money? Is it any kind of lust? Is it any kind of revenge? We try to do the background analysis of the suspected people as well. So I think to answer this question, we have to think like a fraudster कि अगर कंपनी में अगर परचेज मैनेजर ने ये किया है, so what would be his aspiration? Does he want more money, or does he getting less salary and he aspires for money? Does he is having any kind of
That's
affair or extramarital relationship?
correct,
These
correct.
are also the angles to the fraud. So we think like that. But to be very honest with you, it really doesn't contaminate anyone's mind working on the case.
So
It really doesn't, because you differentiate yourself from your work. When you are out of the work, you are a normal person. You don't think like what has happened in the day, during the day. So it is very important for a forensic expert to keep his or her work and personal life totally different.
that is very. Now I want to ask this: how do you do that? Because usually whatever happens in the work, it keeps
Hmm.
running in our mind. We come back
Hmm.
home, and what happens in the
Hmm.
home comes in. We don't know how to keep a demarcation, or how do you draw a thin line कि भैया ये
Hmm.
काम है. And especially somebody like you, like we have seen. So I don't have any personal relationship with any policeman, but in the movies we have seen policeman means wherever he's sitting, he's thinking शक है, doubt है, शक है, इस पे भी शक है. So it just becomes an habit of people, you know. So when
Correct.
you go into your world where your friends are there, your people are there, now does it come to your mind ये ऐसा बोल रहा है मतलब इसका पीछे कुछ तो भी रहेगा, and does it affect that way?
Sometimes it does affect, but I also remind myself that I don't have to analyze everything in the manner that I analyze everything at the workplace. Okay, I don't have to be suspicious all the time with my people, with my family. So, and there are other things also I have kept myself busy with. Like I write columns, I do a lot of mentoring sessions. I'm
Mhm.
also, I could say I also practice yoga. I also practice my habits. I mean my hobbies. So it really keeps me away from the negative thoughts, and it really differentiates me as a person from me as a forensic accountant at the work.
Mhm.
So
I think that
in
makes sense.
yes,
Thank you so much for sharing that, Apurva. And I also heard and came to know about you have formulated one course itself for Solapur University, and it runs in
yes,
Solapur University about how to be a fraud examiner, how to run the whole thing.
yes,
So, how do you
yes.
approach universities, or they approach you, or you thought it was required for students?
Yes, sometimes this question is egg first or chicken first. Okay, so at that time during 2010-11, when I was passing different exams, which are different certifications from India, and I also appeared for one of the certifications abroad. That time I realized that my family background is very strong. They are very, open minded, and they want me to get highly educated. That's the reason I could spend dollars, euros on different kind of study material, which is only being that time being purchased from international market, and I could afford that. But soon I realized the pain point of the society, that not everyone can afford the prices of the study materials which you purchase from outside. So I understood that there is no single course in India at that time, 2011, 12, 13 में एक भी course नहीं था. Not even that, I couldn't find a study material for students which at that point of time I could understand ki what is forensic accounting, who started the forensic accounting. So I took up the challenge. I wrote a book on forensic accounting, which is called as Students Handbook on Forensic Accounting, which will be a guiding path for students to understand what is this field, what kind of people work in this field, what is the scope of this field. So that is one. I also realized that there is no course at that time point of time. So being from Solapur, I wanted to do something for the students of my city. So that aim, that vision at that time helped me approach the vice chancellor of the university. When I bounced off the idea of starting something on forensic accounting, fraud risk management, the person, the VC sir, was quite helpful in supporting me to that course, because he also realized that Solapur University will be recognized as one of the first universities in India to start such kind of course. And also there was a win-win situation. I wanted to do something for the students, and the other thing for the university is that it would have helped the university for the NAC accreditation, as they were starting something which is exceptional and for students and for professionals. So I approached the VC first, and after everyone, when everyone got known to this fact that Solapur University has started something, I was getting calls from different university, from different offices from vice chancellor. So I people were approaching me and requesting me to give them ideas around what could be developed around fraud and different aspects of fraud.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Super. A very, very nice contribution of yours to the society and the students. Thank you for such a beautiful initiative, Apurva. Now, what I want to ask you again here was, since you have been yourself an woman entrepreneur, and you also have been a very adventurous and a very thrilling kind of enterprising work. So, all these years of experience, if my lot of girl students are there who also want to be an entrepreneur in life. Now, my question is like this:
Hmm.
as a woman entrepreneur,
Hmm.
women, what support should they look for, and what support they should not take?
Okay.
मतलब
Okay.
if you got the question is like this कि
Yes.
किस चीज की मदद लेनी चाहिए,
Hmm.
किसकी मदद लेनी चाहिए, और किस चीज की या किसकी मदद नहीं लेनी चाहिए, if you want to be a strong entrepreneur,
Right.
woman entrepreneur.
Right. So, scenario for me as a woman entrepreneur was quite different and less supportive when I really started back in 2011. September 2011, my first startup was floated. After 9 years, there have been multiple schemes for startups. There have been multiple speakers, authors who are continuously contributing for startups. For So I feel that, and I also realize there are so many schemes, especially for women entrepreneurs, supporting the ventures which are started by women entrepreneurs. So the environment right now is very conducive for them to start something of their own. So dues for women entrepreneurs is what I will sum up, that they should not shy away from taking help, taking right mentors into their venture. They also, you should also realize the importance of being graduated, getting different certifications, because if I'm an investor and I'm investing something in a startup which is which is floated by a woman entrepreneur, I will also look at her background, what she has studied. Is whatever she has studied, is it implemented in her startup? Is it the domain knowledge which is helping her business grow? So these are typical things which I would see in a woman entrepreneur. So getting knowledge, working on different kind of projects is very important for women. Also, for if someone chooses to be in forensic field, for example, there is lot of scope. Women should choose something which is called niche field. Forensic is still a niche field. Still, there are people just in thousands who are working in this domain. So if I tell you there are 10,000 forensic accountants in India, the percentage of women forensic accountant is just 10%. 10% is also on the higher side. So women should choose something very wise, should choose something very different, where they can attract the attention of the investor. They should definitely see what kind of value they are adding to the society. Are they solving any pain point of the society? And if they are solving, what kind of competitors they are facing, and how women entrepreneurs are doing something different from their competitors to get, for example, investment, to get right people on the board. Don'ts, there are so many don'ts. How should I tell the don'ts? I will definitely tell them to keep their spirits high, because sometimes being a woman entrepreneur, you are generally being oppressed. ये क्या कर सकती है, ये क्या कर सकती है, इसकी तो 24-25 years एज के बाद शादी हो जाएगी. So women should not restrict their brain or mentality to something which is said or being imposed by the society. They should be using their wisdom to work. They should be demanding their freedom to work, and they should be really putting their knowledge and true efforts into any venture which they start.
I think that makes sense. Okay, just to remind all of you, you're on EDP Master this time with Dr. Apurva Joshi from Wipro and with a lovely Kingdom and EDPNs. Apurva will take a short break of a couple of minutes right now. It'll be a small video promo here, and we'll be there only. So just don't go anywhere. We'll just stay tuned here, and we'll come back on this again. So let's take a small break of a couple of minutes.
Sure.
Welcome back to EDP Masters, this time with Dr. Apurva Joshi and my lovely Kingdom Minds and me. Welcome back, Apurva.
Yes, Deepak.
We are having a very wonderful girl this Saturday on Offbeat Inspiration, what we
Yes,
take.
I just
Yes,
saw her. Yeah, very inspirational.
and you are not less than that because you also hold double PhD from two different universities, which itself is a big thing to know, and you're so much to be acquired. So, how do you want to give credit if somebody wants to be an entrepreneur? The knowledge base should be very high, or the skills base should be very high, or
Right,
they should
right,
have an entrepreneur temperament. So,
right.
what the weightage you would want to give in this three?
Uh, I mean, among from skills, education, and internship.
Knowledge, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say knowledge base sometimes gets developed with the amount of work which you do. So for me, I did my only internship for 3.5 years. Even after 3.5 years, I realized that I have just I've learned 20% of forensics. So you will need your dedication, your effort should be 100% towards whatever field you choose. So I will say, I will give a weightage that you should give 60% weightage to your practical knowledge, to your practical experiences. Keep an open mind, try to grasp as many as things as possible. Try to build your contacts while you do work, while you work with any company, while you work with any mentor. Then I will say 30% to your different degrees and 10% to different kind of skill building, because these days recruiters or companies also look for a different kind of talent in any resumes that they are screening. So having equipped yourself with different skills, with different certifications, with different knowledge sessions is very essential these days. So I will say 60-30-10 to your
Uh,
practical exposure, to your degree certifications, and to a different kind of skill building.
okay,
Yeah.
Apurva. Now let's have scenario. Market is there.
Hmm.
Then lot of entrepreneurs are there,
Hmm.
and you begin your own enterprise with set of people.
Hmm.
Okay, matlab competitors are there, market is there, you
Yes.
begin your own enterprise with set of people.
Right.
That scenario, is women entrepreneur, being a woman entrepreneur is an advantage or a disadvantage to the market or to the competitors or to the people whom you work with?
Okay. So I will sum up as this. So while I started my own company, I was the only one person who was working. Soon I realized I should have different set of people in my company who are specialized in different aspects. You should not insist on one thing that I should be perfect, I should be 100% knowledgeable, and I should know every aspect of business. This is not necessary. You should work in tandem in with different sets of people who have different kind of skills. So when I used to go alone to conferences, and I used to chat up with the senior professionals from forensic, they used to first ask me whether I have got a team of professionals to work on different kind of assignments. When I used to say that I am just a startup and I have started on my own and I'm the only person, the moment they used to listen to this, their interest in talking to me or having a conversation used to get reduced by 40-50%. So soon I realized I should be portraying my strength as a startup entrepreneur uh, with a set of team, so that the person to whom I'm talking, so if I am also entering an area where my competitors have already reached, I should also show team strength, which I can definitely employ to different kind of investigations, probably outsourced to, from my potential client. So this is one thing. So this is being a woman entrepreneur is advantageous because people look, if I'm talking about the forensic domain, people look at you with the integrity. When they understand that you are among the, a small set of women entrepreneurs who have started something in forensic, then the approach to look at you becomes extremely cooperative sometimes, because they also understand that you have a rough journey. They also understand that women can work with integrity more than men. So the probability of you getting newer kind of assignments gets high. So I will say, in this domain, being a woman entrepreneur is very advantageous. And
In,
if you show the team strength, then nothing like this.
hmm. So in this context of your work for the
Hmm.
market, woman entrepreneur is a great advantage to play with.
Yes, correct,
Okay.
correct, correct, correct.
Now, when you have team of people and you are a women boss, right? Do you think the response, because we just recently saw the movie Gunjan Saxena, and we have
Yes,
also seen multiple
yes,
places where women boss are there.
yes.
So when you have a women boss, the reciprocation from the male colleagues or the
Hmm.
male team members, do you think there's a difference, or you have to prove, okay, even if I'm woman, I'm smarter, I have results, and only
Correct.
then they start? Or in men entrepreneur, no, they straight away think, okay, boss hai to they don't have to go through this fight. So do you think it still exists, and how do you work with it? How do you break it?
It still exists. I would say it still exists. Getting the instructions for work from a woman boss is still being considered as कि अरे मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मेरी बॉस तो शी इज अ वुमन एंटरप्रेन्योर, ये क्या कर सकती है, ये पहला क्वेश्चन उसके चेहरे पे
घर में भी एक औरत, इधर भी एक औरत, मतलब मैं तो फंस गया.
फंस गया. या सो द ओनली डिसएडवांटेज आई सी हियर, विच जो मैंने एडवांटेज में कन्वर्ट कर लिया, is as a male entrepreneur, if you are putting 50% effort to a work and get it done, then as a woman entrepreneur I have to triple my efforts and prove to my employees also how it is beneficial for them to work under me, what kind of value additions a woman boss can do to their profile. And the journey gets tougher, but I enjoyed my journey. But it still exists. It still exists.
Exists. Okay, I truly agree with whatever you say. I've seen this multiple places also.
Yes.
Apurva, the kind of work or the kind of field you have chosen, it's quite, what do you say, it's quite adventurous, but at the same time, it's quite dangerous also. So, do
Yes.
you think a temperament of the person matters in enterprise or to be an entrepreneur? Should you
Yes.
be an entrepreneur because in that field a lot of profit is there, or you should be an entrepreneur because you have temperament for that field? So because every field, every business needs different kind of temperament. So
Hmm.
temperamentally, maybe forensic and fraud examining must be suiting your temperament, so you are able to gel. But
Hmm.
if anybody who is quite shy or quite timid and are not very bold or brave,
Hmm.
and they might get intimidated by the presence of other people, especially men. So what, they should get into this field, or we should always choose a field depending on our temperament, not depending on the field?
So I will definitely answer your question with a different, I have a different idea about this. Sometimes the events which are you are being surrounded with it tries to inculcate different qualities which shape your ultimate temperament. So I will say I was also a very shy girl. A girl like me, I think. मुझे पता ही नहीं था, मेरे घर वालों को भी पता नहीं था कि इवन इफ आई कुड एंड अप विद दिस फील्ड एंड आई वुड कंटिन्यू वर्किंग इन दिस फील्ड. So there are qualities which I identified which were already existing in me. Also I tried to develop different kind of qualities which will suit me as a forensic accountant. So I'll sum up these qualities here, so that someone should introspect, someone should also think of, if even if he or she is trying to think of coming into this field, they should also check if they are having these kind of qualities, or are they becoming really getting ready to enter this field with these qualities. So some of the qualities which were I would say here is suspicion. So forensic accountants needs to be bloodhounds of the accounting and not the watchdog. So forensic accountants should demand verification wherever possible, as the evidence that a forensic accountant is required to be very conclusive. So I tried to understood after doing kind of assignment that yes, I can work with this kind of quality to become a forensic accountant. The other is curiosity. Whether you are a forensic accountant or not a forensic accountant, curiosity is the main ingredient for you to become a successful entrepreneur. So for a forensic accountant, they should develop their own curiosity and follow up on it. So forensic accountants should have the desire to learn the truth. An inquisitive mind is essential to the accounting to the forensic accounting profession. Third thing which I observe, that a professional like me could be a good observer. Observation is very important, whether you are a novel entrepreneur or a person who is working into forensic accounting. So five senses of forensic accountants are important tools of the trade. It may be important for forensic accountants to remember unusual things about an individual. For example, his manner or his posture or the way he dresses. So learn to observe details. The fourth thing is memory. The ability to recall accurately the facts, events, and the physical characteristics of a suspect is a valuable skill. Every time, everything cannot be documented, unlike the auditors, is what I feel. Unbiased and unprejudiced mind. Bias and prejudices will result in a poor investigation, unfairness to suspects, clouding of facts that need to be uncovered objectively. So do not let personal likes or dislikes interfere with investigation, also interfere with your work. I also I will also stress on the peculiar quality of an entrepreneur is ability to play a role. So the ability to assume convincing identities is particularly valuable in surveillance, undercover activities, and a variety of confidential inquiries. This is applicable to both a person who is aiming to become a forensic accountant or an entrepreneur. Persistence and capacity, this is also applicable to everyone. So many times investigations demand late night seizing of the hard disk in order to maintain the equilibrium of the organization. So you should be persistent about the work which you are doing, and also try to challenge your capacities to get maximum out of your good strengths. I will also talk about ability to obtain cooperation. You will need patience, courtesy, tact, and understanding. A suspect or witness who has been intimidated, frightened, or angered by impatient forensic accountants is of no value. And the last thing which I will stress is here is common sense. So you should have an intuitive understanding of the way the world works and how people move through it. This can be developed and refined. The more time you spend on the street, the more attention you pay to the different details, the sharper your street sense will become. This can be learned and sharpened as you work in the investigation field.
Absolutely. In fact, if a lot of men, if they're watching this interview with Apurva, all men are thinking, "मेरा wife में से quality है." Wife,
Absolutely. Women are inborn investigators.
absolutely. They're born in this. Absolutely,
Yes,
I agree with you.
yes, yes.
Uh, so, Apurva, if somebody is shy, in my college, a lot of girls are there, okay, and definitely few of them must be. Two things will happen if my girl students are watching right now. Few of them saying, "यार ऐसा बनना है." Number one. Few of them saying, "ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं बनना है." It is so difficult to go through. So if I had to ask you that, if whenever the lockdown everything gets open, if I can, I don't want to send my boy students to you. To send some girl students of mine.
You can send both of them to my office. I would be very happy to work with them and show them different aspects of my field.
First set will be only girls. You train them to be sharp and street smart like you. And this, I think, that's the greatest contribution my college can do to all the girls in my college. So very soon,
Sure.
moment Pune gets opened up, you let us know. वन बस बेच के गाड़ी बेच के सब भेजेगा तुम्हारे पास में.
Definitely. Send as much as possible. Send those students who are really very inquisitive and who really want to explore this as a field. क्या हो सकता है? Either after learning few things about this field, they will either opt out of this field, or at least they will get some different kind of knowledge which they can practically put into their work.
Nothing happens, no, Apurva, if all the girl students be with you and they decide not to be the part of it, even when they get married to an entrepreneur, because they all from family businesses background, they'll marry some businessmen only. So when they marry the businessman, there it will be helpful. So they have in-house forensic auditor in their house.
Yes,
So
yes.
nothing to worry about. But some days with you, I think they are done, and if you can, they can just learn a lot of things from you. Baki, as a profession, as a career, they build up or not build up secondary. Even the family business, even which is existing right now, and tomorrow when they get married into a business house, there they can be in-house.
In-house forensic expert. Yes, the employees will definitely inculcate one thing when they join the family business of a girl, that the chances here to do the mischief are very less, since they have in-house forensic expert.
Absolutely. All the girl students who are watching this right now with me and Apurva, you get geared up. First thing for you, all the girl students is compulsory. It is going to be a part of the college curriculum that once in a year you have to go and stay with Apurva for the whole day, learn from her.
Yes.
Either Benito, you can go in a dad's business, uncle's business, family business tomorrow. All then you can be a forensic expert and forensic auditor. It will be a great contribution to your family also. I think it's amazing.
But and also feel free to share my email ID, phone number with them. So even if they have any kind of queries which they want to post the same to me, they can reach out to me through email. So they can phone me anytime.
I'll share the email ID of yours, phone number of yours with everybody in the college. So whoever wants to get into this, and they have tremendous liking for Pune. I have got few of them to Pune a couple of years back, and every year I bring them. So they have a lot of liking for Pune. So definitely we'll be having a great time with you. So I have so first thing you already answered for me. My second question or request to you is going to be this: is we are winding up the whole thing now, Apurva. If these boys and girls who are your younger siblings, and they come and ask you, we want to become an entrepreneur. As an elder sister to them, what is that you will tell if you want to be an entrepreneur? Do this, or this is what I expect from you, or this should be a thought process, and that will definitely take you on the right path. So what is that you will suggest as a message from your side?
So, as if they want to start something of their own, so first they should understand what the startup is. So you will find a lot of information on the internet. However, I've started realizing one thing now: the more the information, more are the perspective, and more we get confused. So globally, a startup is the name of the technology which solves the existing problem of the society. So even if they want to start something, they should also look at two aspects. One is professional aspect. Professionally, how you are going to get succeed in this venture. Secondly, you should also understand that you are a part of society. Society supports you, so you should do something out of your work or from your work which will help the society to realize its pain points. So they should think about this. They should also think about different aspects, that being curious, being always innovative is the recipe of being a successful startup entrepreneur. So they should be always inquisitive, and they should, just like I mentioned in the question answer session before, they should not shy away to talk to different professionals from their domain, who would be a guiding path for them, because sometimes the experience of the other person will help you realize what can go wrong in your venture, and what other things you can do right in your venture. You can also understand what kind of opportunities are there which are untapped, and what kind of things that you can do differently. So my advice is very clear to them, that they should explore a different path, a niche path.
And I think wonderful inputs and insights from you, Apurva. All the boys and girls, I think she has been very precise in her talk. If you have observed all the questions she had, all the facts, इतना डिग्री इसके लिए, उतना डिग्री इसके लिए, उतना डिग्री इसके लिए. So I think that clarity is what is very, very important for anybody to be an entrepreneur. And the kind of answers or whatever she shared about was too, everything was so to the point and so much factual data. I really wish, I want all of you, especially all the girl students here, to, whenever possible, this interview will be there on the Facebook. Keep revisiting this and listen to a lot of things she said. Today, I, for whatever reasons, did not summarize a lot of things what she said because it was straight, no confusion about what she spoke about. So I would request all the girl students now and then, maybe once in a week, you make sure as a reference manual, you visit this interview of Apurva Joshi with me multiple times till you understand all the basic things. She explained to all of us brilliantly. I think it has been phenomenal to listen to you, and I'm glad that finally we got you. And sorry for all the confusion that happened in the last few times.
Okay. It's
So
okay.
just want to tell us all this thing in the end of it. You have given your precious 1 hour of your life to me. In other people's life, I have played some part, so I have contributed. In case of yours, it's purely only on the reference of Dr. Manisha Joshi, the way you have been helping women entrepreneurs, people in society, writing books, helping out universities with this. I think I've been doing phenomenal job, Apurva. You have given 1 hour of yours to me and my college boys and girls. I owe you 2 hours from my side. Anywhere in life in future, if you think 2 hours of mine, my expertise, my wisdom, my clarity about people and work, business, anywhere if you think I can be a part, if for you directly or indirectly for somebody, if you think I can be of any help, I owe 2 hours of my life to you for giving 1 hour of yours to my college boys and girls. Anytime, anywhere, as per you, mutually, definitely look forward to make a difference in your life, through you, living more lives. Just to tell all of you guys, this was a beautiful time on EDP Masters with Dr. Apurva Joshi. And
Yes, Deepak.
see, again, we are moving towards the 50th episode very soon. Maybe in a couple of weeks, we will have the 50th entrepreneur. Apurva, and I also thank you for getting us connected with Ninad Karpe.
Yes,
We had
yes,
some amazing insights with Mr. Ninad also.
yes,
Boys
yes.
and girls, she was the one instrumental to get Ninad Karpe, the investment guy, 100x VC, if you remember, from Mumbai. She was the one who got us connected to him, and through him we have a lot of insights again on venture capitalist and all the kind of investments and what is it.
Correct.
Even that was
Correct.
helpful, and thank you for connecting us. And we look forward to have more connections with you, through you, with you.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us, Apurva.
Any help which you find that I would be of any help to you, please feel free to connect to me again, and I would be very happy to assist your college girls students, college faculties as well, because this is a very different subject, and this needs to be the education for this needs to get spread over masses, so that the quantum of frauds which India is facing will
Exactly.
also get investigators to investigate and prevent the future frauds.
That is very beautiful with both of us. Is my first job was in Pune and your first job was in Bangalore. So
Yes,
let's
what a coincidence.
to have this. So please do come to Bangalore whenever you come to Bangalore for some work. And the college would love to host you in the college. We'll have one-to-one interaction with all the boys and girls, and together we'll have a great time. Thank you for joining in, guys.
Thank you, Deepak. I enjoyed our interaction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.